She walks into a room and something shifts. You can't quite name it. She's not the loudest. She's not begging for attention. But there's something about her presence that commands respect without asking for it. And here's what I want you to understand today. That energy, that quiet power, it's not something she was born with. It's something she built. One habit at a time. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt invisible? Like you've spent years, maybe decades, pouring into everyone around you, your family, your job, your relationships. And somewhere along the way, you forgot what it feels like to pour into yourself. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, where did she go? That woman who had dreams, that woman who believed she deserved more, that woman who used to laugh freely, love openly, and walk with her head held high. Life has a way of dimming our light, doesn't it? The disappointments, the betrayals, the moments when you gave everything and it still wasn't enough for someone. The times you stayed quiet when you should have spoken. The times you settled because you were tired of fighting. And slowly, without even realizing it, you began to shrink. But here's what I want you to hear today. And I need you to really let this land in your heart. You didn't lose her. That woman, that queen, she's still inside you. She's been waiting for you to remember her, waiting for you to choose her again. Because the truth is, becoming a woman with an unshakable queen mindset isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to who you were always meant to be. And that journey, it doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require a certain age or a certain body or a certain relationship status. It requires habits, small daily choices that, over time, build a foundation so strong that nothing and no one can shake you. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 habits, not complicated strategies, not unrealistic advice meant for some fantasy woman who has unlimited time and no real problems. No. These are 5 habits that real women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, practice to protect their peace, strengthen their spirit, and walk through life with dignity. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what separates the woman who feels constantly drained, disrespected, and depleted from the woman who radiates calm power, self-respect, and unshakable grace. And more importantly, you'll have practical steps you can start today, right where you are, with exactly what you have. So stay with me. This one is important. Let's start here. Because this habit is the foundation for everything else. A woman with an unshakable queen mindset understands something that takes many of us years to learn. Her peace is not negotiable. Now let me explain what I mean. Because this isn't about being selfish. It's not about ignoring your responsibilities or cutting off everyone who mildly inconveniences you. It's about recognizing this simple truth: your inner peace is the most valuable thing you own. And if you don't protect it, no one else will. Think about it. When you're at peace, you make better decisions. You show up better for your children. You communicate more clearly with your partner. You have energy for the things that actually matter. But when your peace is constantly under attack, when you're drained, anxious, and overwhelmed, everything suffers. Your health, your relationships, your joy, your dreams. So why does this matter so much? Because we live in a world that profits from your chaos. There are people in your life who are comfortable when you're unsettled, who benefit when you're too tired to set boundaries, who actually prefer you small, quiet, and exhausted, not because they're evil people, but because your chaos serves their comfort. And a woman with a queen mindset refuses to participate in that arrangement anymore. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Amara. She's 42. She works full-time. She has 2 teenage children. And she has a sister who calls her almost every day with drama. Every phone call is a new crisis. Every conversation leaves Amara drained. And here's the patterns. Her sister unloads all her problems. Amara tries to help. Her sister ignores the advice. And then the cycle repeats the next day. For years, Amara answered every call. She thought that's what good sisters do. She thought being loving meant being available all the time. But one day, something shifted. Amara realized that every time she picked up that phone, she was choosing her sister's chaos over her own peace. She was sacrificing her mental energy she needed for her own children, her own work, her own healing. So she made a decision. She didn't cut her sister off. She didn't have a big, dramatic confrontation. She simply started setting gentle limits. She stopped answering calls during dinner time. She let some calls go to voicemail and called back when she felt grounded. And when conversations started going in circles, she learned to say, "I love you, but I'm not in the right space to discuss this right now." Was it uncomfortable at first? Yes. Did her sister push back? Absolutely. But here's what happened over time. Amara started feeling lighter. She had more energy for her children. She slept better. And surprisingly, her sister actually began respecting her more. Because that's what happens when you protect your peace. People learn how to treat you based on what you allow. So let me give you some practical steps. First, identify your peace drainers. Not to judge them, but to be aware. Who are the people, the situations, the environments that consistently leave you feeling depleted? Write them down if you need to. Awareness is the first step. Second, start small. You don't have to make dramatic changes overnight. Just begin noticing your energy. When do you feel peaceful? When do you feel anxious? This awareness alone is powerful. Third, practice protective boundaries with kindness. Remember, you can be loving and still say no. You can be a good daughter, a good mother, a good friend, and still protect your peace. These things are not opposites. They work together. And here's something I want you to remember. Every time you choose your peace over someone else's chaos, you're not being selfish. You're being wise. You're teaching people how to treat you. And you're modeling strength for every woman watching your life, including your daughters, your nieces, your friends. A queen doesn't sit on her throne stressed and depleted. She guards her peace like the treasure it is. Now, let's move to the second habit. And this one is about the power of your words. A woman with an unshakable queen mindset understands that words are seeds. What she speaks, she plants in her relationships, in her self-image, in her future. So she's careful, not silent, not passive, careful. She knows the difference between reacting and responding. When you react, you let your emotions drive. You say the first thing that comes to mind. You match someone's energy without thinking. And often, you end up saying things you don't mean, or saying them in a way that damages trust. But when you respond, you pause. You breathe. You choose your words deliberately. Not to manipulate, but to communicate with clarity and dignity. Why does this matter? Because in life, especially as a woman in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you will face situations that test you. Disrespectful comments, unfair treatment, people who try to provoke you. And here's the truth that many people don't want to accept. Your power is not in your anger. Your power is in your composure. Any woman can lose her temper. Any woman can scream, insult, or argue. That's easy. But a woman who can stay calm in the storm, a woman who can speak truth without cruelty, a woman who can hold her ground without losing her grace, that woman is unshakable. Let me tell you about a woman named Fatima. Fatima's 51. She went through a difficult divorce 5 years ago. And during that time, she learned one of the most valuable lessons of her life. Her ex-husband would try to provoke her. He would say hurtful things, twist situations, and push her buttons, especially in front of their children. At first, she reacted. She would argue, defend herself, match his energy. And every time she felt worse afterward. Not because she was wrong, but because she had let him pull her out of her peace. One day, a mentor told her something that changed everything. Fatima, you cannot control what he says. but you can always control what you become in response. That sentence landed deep. From that day forward, Fatima made a choice. She would no longer give him the reactions he wanted. When he provoked her, she would pause, breathe, and respond with calm, measured words. Sometimes she simply said, "I hear you. Let me think about that." Sometimes she said nothing at all and walked away. And here's what happened. Over time, his provocations lost power. Her children noticed the difference. They saw their mother as the stable one, the calm one, the one who didn't let chaos rule her. And Fatima, she found a strength she didn't know she had. The kind of strength that comes from choosing who you want to be, even when someone else is trying to make you someone else. So here are some practical steps for you. First, practice the pause. This is so simple, but so powerful. Before you respond to anything that triggers you, take 3 deep breaths. Not to suppress your feelings, but to create space between the trigger and your response. Second, ask yourself this question before you speak: will these words build or destroy? Not just in the moment, but in the long term. Will they build trust, respect, and understanding? Or will they destroy connection and peace? Learn a few powerful phrases for difficult moments. Things like, "I need a moment to gather my thoughts. I'm not going to respond to that right now. I hear what you're saying, and I'd like to discuss this when we're both calm." These phrases aren't weak. They're weapons of wisdom. And finally, remember this: your silence can be powerful too. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every argument deserves your energy. Sometimes the most queenly thing you can do is simply not engage. A woman with an unshakable mindset knows when to speak and when to let her silence speak for her. Let's talk about the third habit. And this one might challenge some beliefs you've been carrying for a long time. A woman with an unshakable queen mindset invests in herself. Consistently, intentionally, without guilt. Now, before you say, "I don't have time for that," "I have too many responsibilities," I want you to pause and really listen to what I'm about to say. Investing in yourself is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And I'm not just talking about spa days and bubble baths, although those are wonderful. I'm talking about something deeper. I'm talking about feeding your mind with wisdom. Taking care of your body because it's the home of your soul. Nurturing your spirit because it's the source of your strength. Growing your skills because your potential doesn't expire. Why does this matter? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. I know you've heard that phrase before. But I want you to really think about it. Every day, life asks things of you. Your family needs you. Your work needs you. Your community needs you. And if you're constantly giving without replenishing, eventually you will have nothing left to give. And here's the painful part. When you run empty, you don't just feel tired. You start to feel resentful, invisible, unappreciated. You start asking, why doesn't anyone take care of me the way I take care of them? But here's the truth, my love. No one can take care of you the way you can take care of yourself. Not your partner, not your children, not your friends. They can support you. They can love you. But the primary responsibility for your well-being, that's yours. And that's not a burden. That's power. Let me tell you about a woman named Priya. Priya is 38. She's a mother of 3. She works part-time. She takes care of her aging parents. And for years, she was the last person on her own priority list. She couldn't remember the last time she read a book for pleasure. She hadn't exercised in years. She wore the same tired clothes because she spent all her money on her children and never on herself. And she thought this made her a good mother, a good woman, until one day, her youngest daughter said something that broke her heart. "Mama, why do you never do anything fun?" That question haunted her. She realized that in trying to give her children everything, she had shown them something she never intended. She had shown them that a woman's needs don't matter, that mothers are supposed to disappear, that self-care is selfish. That's when Priya made a change. She started small. She woke up 30 minutes earlier to have tea in silence before the chaos of the day. She bought herself one nice dress, not expensive, but something that made her feel beautiful. She started walking in the evenings just for 20 minutes. And slowly, something beautiful happened. Her children saw a different mother, a happier mother, a mother who laughed more, who had more patience, who modeled self-respect. And Priya, she started to feel like herself again, not the before kids self that was gone forever, but a new self, a fuller self, a woman who knew her worth. So let me give you some practical steps. First, schedule time for yourself like it's an appointment. If you wait until you have time, you will never have time. Put it on your calendar. Protect it. Second, invest in your mind. Listen to podcasts while you cook. Read a few pages of a book before bed. Watch videos that inspire and teach you. Your mind is a garden. What are you planting in it? Third, move your body. Not to punish yourself, not to fit someone's idea of beauty, but because your body carries you through life. Thank it. Care for it. Stretch it. Strengthen it. Fourth, spend money on yourself without guilt. This doesn't mean being irresponsible. But if you can buy coffee for others, you can buy something that brings you joy. You deserve quality too. And here's the mindset shift I want you to hold on to. When you invest in yourself, you're not taking away from your family. You're adding to them. Because a woman who is full, who is growing, who is alive with purpose, she gives from overflow, not from emptiness. A queen doesn't neglect the kingdom she lives in, and that kingdom is her own body, mind, and soul. Now, the fourth habit. This one requires maturity. It requires wisdom. And it requires a kind of surrender that our controlling minds often resist. A woman with an unshakable queen mindset learns to release what she cannot control. Let me explain. There are things in life that are within your power, your choices, your responses, your habits, your words, your energy. These are yours to shape. But there are also things outside your power, other people's opinions, other people's actions, the past, certain outcomes no matter how hard you try. And here's where so many of us get stuck. We exhaust ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable. We try to manage how people see us. We try to force relationships to work. We try to change people who don't want to change. We replay the past thinking somehow we can fix it, and it drains us. Why does this matter so much? Because your energy is limited. And every ounce of energy you spend on things you cannot change is energy stolen from things you can. A queen knows the difference. She knows she cannot make someone love her properly. But she can decide whether to stay. She knows she cannot erase her past mistakes, but she can learn from them and become better. She knows she cannot control how others treat her, but she can control how long she tolerates disrespect. This is wisdom. This is freedom. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Grace. She's 45, and for years, she carried the weight of a broken relationship with her mother. Her mother was critical, cold, and difficult to please. No matter what Grace achieved, it was never enough. No matter how much she tried, the approval never came. For decades, Grace kept trying. She called more often. She sent gifts. She apologized for things she hadn't done. She bent herself into impossible shapes, hoping that one day, her mother would finally say, "I'm proud of you." But that day never came, and Grace's life suffered. She was anxious. She second-guessed herself in every relationship. She couldn't enjoy her own successes because she was too focused on what her mother would think. Until one day, Grace had a realization. She could not make her mother change. That was not within her control. But she could change how much power she gave her mother's opinion over her life. This wasn't about cutting her mother off or being disrespectful. It was about releasing the expectation. Grace stopped waiting for approval that might never come. She started approving of herself. She started building her own internal validation instead of depending on external validation that was never reliable. And here's what happened. Grace found peace, real peace. The kind that doesn't depend on someone else's mood or behavior. She still loved her mother. She still showed up for family events. But she no longer carried the weight of an impossible hope. She released what she could not control. So here are practical steps for you. First, ask yourself this question regularly. Is this within my control? Make it a habit. Whenever you feel stressed, anxious, or frustrated, pause and ask. If it's within your control, take action. If it's not, practice releasing it. Second, let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will appreciate you. And that's okay. A queen doesn't need a unanimous vote to know her worth. Third, practice this phrase. I've done what I can. The rest is not mine to carry. Say it out loud when you need to. Write it down. Let it become a gentle mantra. Fourth, stop replaying the past. The past is a place of learning, not a place of living. Take the lesson, leave the pain, move forward. And here's the deeper truth. Releasing control is not giving up. It's growing up. It's trusting that you can handle whatever comes, even when you can't control every outcome. A woman with a queen mindset doesn't grip life so tightly that she crushes her own peace. She holds things gently. She trusts the process. She surrenders what she must and fights for what she can. And now the fifth habit, perhaps the most important of all. A woman with an unshakable queen mindset knows her standards, holds her standards, and never apologizes for her standards. Now, let me be clear about what I mean by standards. I'm not talking about being picky for the sake of being difficult. I'm not talking about unrealistic expectations based on fantasy. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about knowing what you deserve and refusing to accept less. I'm talking about the baseline of respect, effort, honesty, and care that you require from anyone who wants to be in your life. Whether that's a romantic partner, a friend, a family member, or even yourself. Why does this matter so much? Because your standards are a reflection of your self-worth. When you tolerate disrespect, you're telling yourself you don't deserve better. When you accept crumbs, you're telling yourself you're not worthy of the full meal. When you lower your standards to keep someone around, you're abandoning yourself to keep them. And here's the hard truth. No relationship is worth losing yourself. A woman with a queen mindset would rather stand alone in her dignity than kneel in someone else's chaos. That doesn't mean she's cold. It doesn't mean she doesn't love. It doesn't mean she has impossible expectations. It means she respects herself too much to participate in her own degradation. Let me tell you about a woman named Zainab. Zainab is 50. She was married for 22 years before her husband left her for someone else. And when it happened, she was devastated. For months, she grieved. She questioned herself. She wondered what she could have done differently. And then, against the advice of well-meaning friends, she began to date again. Not desperately, but slowly, intentionally. And what she noticed shocked her. She noticed that she had been accepting poor treatment for so long that she had forgotten what good treatment looked like. In her marriage, she had made excuses. She had tolerated coldness. She had shrunk herself to keep the peace. So as she met new people, she made a promise to herself. She would not lower her standards just to avoid being alone. She had a list, not a list of shallow preferences, but a list of values: honesty, consistency, kindness, respect. And whenever someone showed her that they couldn't meet those values, she thanked them for their time and moved on. No drama, no begging, just a quiet knowing that she deserved more. Some people thought she was too picky. Some told her she should settle because of her age. But Zainab knew something they didn't. Being alone with her dignity was far better than being with someone who made her feel less than. And here's the beautiful ending. 3 years later, Zainab met a man who matched her energy, who valued her, who showed up consistently, who honored her in ways she had forgotten were possible. But that's not even the most important part. The most important part is that during those 3 years of waiting, Zainab was not miserable. She was not desperate. She was building a life she loved. She was becoming a woman she was proud of. And when the right person came, she wasn't looking for someone to complete her. She was already complete. She was just looking for someone to complement her. So here are practical steps for you. First, get clear on your non-negotiables. What are the values and behaviors that are absolutely essential for anyone in your inner circle? Not superficial things, deep things. Write them down. Know them by heart. Second, watch actions more than words. Anyone can say beautiful things, but what do? How do they treat you when it's inconvenient? How do they respond when you express a need? Actions reveal character. Third, practice walking away gracefully. You don't have to make a scene. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply remove yourself from situations that don't honor you. Fourth, never apologize for your standards. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting respect, honesty, and care. Those are not unreasonable requests. They are the bare minimum, and here's what I want you to remember. When you hold your standards, you will lose some people. That's true. But you will also gain something far more valuable. You will gain self-respect. You will gain peace. You will gain the kind of people who can actually meet you where you are. A queen doesn't lower her crown to make others comfortable. She finds people who can rise to meet her. Now, before I wrap up, I want to pause and speak directly to a part of you that might be struggling right now. Maybe, as you've listened to these habits, a voice in your head has been whispering doubts. This sounds nice, but I could never do that. I've never been that kind of woman. It's too late for me. I've already made too many mistakes. People will think I'm being difficult or proud. I understand, truly. Because many of us were raised with beliefs that hold us back. We were taught that being a good woman means always putting ourselves last. That having standards means being arrogant. That protecting our peace means being selfish. That speaking our truth means being difficult. We were taught to be small, quiet, accommodating, easy to handle. And for a while, maybe we believed it. Maybe we even lived by it. But today, I want to offer you a new belief. A woman who respects herself is not selfish. She is wise. A woman who protects her peace is not cold. She is healthy. A woman who speaks with intention is not difficult. She is powerful. A woman who invests in herself is not vain. She is responsible. A woman who honors her standards is not proud. She is dignified. These are not flaws to be ashamed of. These are qualities to be cultivated. And here's something else I want you to know. It doesn't matter how many years you've spent living differently. It doesn't matter how many times you abandoned yourself for someone else. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. Today is a new day. You can start right now. Right where you are, with whatever you have. One habit at a time, one choice at a time, one moment of self-respect at a time. The woman with an unshakable queen mindset wasn't born that way. She was built that way through daily decisions, through small acts of courage, through refusing to give up on herself, even when life was hard. And if she can do it, so can you. So let's bring it all together. Today we explored 5 habits of women with an unshakable queen mindset. Habit 1, she protects her peace like it's sacred. Because without peace, nothing else works. Habit 2, she speaks with intention, not just emotion. Because her words are seeds and she chooses them wisely. Habit 3, she invests in herself without apology. Because she knows that caring for herself allows her to truly care for others. Habit 4, she releases what she cannot control. because she understands the difference between surrender and strength. Habit 5, she honors her standards without apology, because her self-respect is not negotiable. Now, I want to leave you with this. I know your journey hasn't been easy. I know there have been moments when you felt invisible, unappreciated, maybe even broken. But I also know this. You are still here. You are still growing. You are still searching for wisdom. And that tells me everything I need to know about you. A woman who is done would not be listening to this. A woman who has given up would not be seeking guidance. But you're here. And that means the queen inside you is still alive, still fighting, still hoping. So I want you to take these habits seriously. Not as rules to burden you, but as tools to free you. Start with one, whichever one speaks to you most. Practice it for a week, then add another. Small steps lead to big transformations. And before you know it, you'll look in the mirror and see her, the woman you always knew could be, calm, grounded, dignified, unshakable. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. And that, my beautiful friend, is what a queen mindset is all about. If this message touched your heart today, I would be honored if you would hit the like button. It helps more women find these words when they need them most. And if you're not already subscribed, consider joining this community. We're building something beautiful here, a space where women can grow, heal, and become the highest version of themselves. Now,